Let's say China.
China.
There are next-door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
You go over to China.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Trump statement, tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel. What's he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host.
Yes, it's me, James Andrews, and you are listening to So This Happened, the only news you will need today. It's Friday, the 16th of June, 2017, and it has been an absolutely crazy week, hasn't it? Just insane. And today we're going to start off with Donald Trump. Who else, right? Anyway, today he signed an executive order to reverse President Obama's policy in Cuba. Here's what Donald said about it, and then we'll talk about it.
The profits from investment and tourism flow directly to the military. The regime takes the money and owns the industry. The outcome of last administration's executive action has been only more repression and a move to crush the peaceful democratic movement. Therefore, effective immediately, I am canceling the last administration's completely one-sided deal with Cuba.
Okay, so there's Donald to great applause. And he said there that he is going to completely reverse the past administration's deal with Cuba. And, well, that's not actually what he did at all. He basically left it exactly the same with just a few changes. The US Embassy will remain open. You'll still be able to travel to Cuba. It'll be slightly more restricted now. However, if you are a Cuban American, you'll be able to go freely between the two countries. And as far as trade goes, the difference there is that he will no longer allow US companies to do any business with the Cuban military, which analysts have said will actually cut down about 50% of the exports that the US can give to Cuba. So, not really a reversal of Obama's policy, but we know Donald Trump loves to make these grandiose statements which end up being not true at all. But, you know, it's how you sound and it's how you look doing it, right? That's what's important. Because most people listening to this have no idea what Obama's thing was anyway, right? So all they hear is Trump saying, I've reversed it completely. Kind of like Obamacare. I've reversed it completely. And then, it came out and Republicans were calling it Obamacare Light. So it's all about how you say it and how you sound and how big the crowd is and how big the cheers are. It's smoke and mirrors. It's an old trick, old Vegas trick, smoke and mirrors. And in other sad smoke and mirrors news, can we play some sad music? All right, thanks. The American Heart Association has announced today that something that you buy in the health aisle, and everyone's been saying is really good for you, turns out not to be good for you. The AHA today announced that coconut oil is as unhealthy as beef fat and butter. People, we have been fucking lied to. Do you know how much shit I have been cooking with coconut oil because they said it is good for you? Well, now it turns out it isn't good for you at all. The American Heart Association says in their new studies they found that it is saturated in bad cholesterol. So, there we go, a myth. And where this comes from, the study, it says that diets that are high in saturated fat can raise the bad cholesterol, which is LDL. And that leads to blood clots in the arteries and increases the risk of heart disease and strokes. Now, according to the study the AHA did, 82% of the fat in coconut oil is saturated. That's more than butter. which only has 63% saturated fat. It's more than beef fat, which only has 50%, and pork lard, which only has 39%. Whole Foods are going to be so pissed off. Speaking of Whole Foods, Amazon bought them today in this just weird surprise move. Just wow, there we go. So now can we order Whole Foods online? That would be great. If I sit on my computer and just order, well, not coconut oil anymore apparently, but you know, other things that Whole Foods sells maybe. And moving swiftly on from that tragedy, Donald Trump again. He had one of his legendary tweet storms. We're going to call this one Tweet Storm Carlos in reference to his Cuba deal that he unsigned today. He was pretty wound up this morning and all through the afternoon as well about this investigation that is going on. So I'm going to read a few of the tweets, and then Trump Vader is here. He's just finishing up his cocktail. Did you know he does that before he comes here? I don't think I ever mentioned that, but he comes to the studio and we have a little bar set up just for him. I do not partake of the bar while recording. I'm a professional, so I don't do that. But he does. Gin and tonic. That's what he drinks all the time. So he's having it looks like he's having a double right now. But he's so I'm going to read a few tweets, and then Trump's going to come in. Trump Vader's going to come in and read a few of his tweets as well. So it started off this morning with Donald saying this: after 7 months of investigations and committee hearings about my, in quotations, collusion with the Russians, nobody has been able to show any proof. Sad. With an exclamation mark. I love it when he puts sad at the end of his tweets because it's so juvenile. It makes me chuckle. Anyway, later, about 10 minutes later actually, he then said this: the fake news media, and it's all capitalized, you know, fake is capitalized, news and media, just to fit with his new FNM thing that he loves so much. Fake news media. It's a whole thing now. Anyway, the fake news media hates when I use what has turned out to be my very powerful social media. Over 100 million people. I can go around them. Well, two things. I think about 50 million of those 100 million people are bots, apparently. And I don't think the news media hates it at all. I mean, my God, if you did not tweet every single day, I would literally have no show. I would have nothing to talk about. I would be doing a show on technology or cooking. I don't know, So I love it. I love the tweets. Keep them coming, please. And then a little bit later, this is a good one. Despite the phony witch hunt going on in America, the economic and jobs numbers are great. Regulations way down, jobs and enthusiasm way up. If you say so, if you say so. And then he posted another thing here. It said, great news, and then hashtag MAGA, which Make America Great Again. And it's a photograph of him, and it says, Rasmussen reports 50% approval index, June 16th, 2017. They're actually the only poll reporting anything like that. The AP poll for the day has his approval rating at just 35%, and Zogby Analytics has it sort of in the middle at 40%. And, it's important to remember on these things that the Rasmussen poll has been widely decried as sort of a Republican poll. It definitely has a pro-Republican bias to it, and it's also been found to be the least accurate of all the polls. But as we know, Donald Trump is making the news for his supporters. He posts that up there on Twitter, 50% approval rating, and everyone says, well, 50%, well done you. You dig a little bit deeper. He's not going to put up there going, yes, 35% approval rating, I am awesome. Wait, oh, damn. I'll have to change my motto from MAGA to MAA. M-A-A-A, Make America Average Again. That probably wouldn't catch on. It's hard to say. Make America average again. Make America average again. No, it doesn't work, does it? Anyway, look, I'm waffling on and on, so let me go open the door and get Trump Vader in. Trump Vader, are you finished? No, just knock it back, mate. Knock it back and get in here. All right, good man. Come on. Hey, how you doing? All right, here he is. Good to see you. Okay, you want a treat? Ooh, can't speak. I must have had one of your gin and tonics. You want to read your tweet? All right, here's Trump Vader with his tweet.
I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director. Witch hunt.
Okay, alright, so what you're saying, Trump Vader, if I understand you correctly, is that you are being investigated by somebody that told you to fire James Comey, and I assume you're talking about Rod Rosenstein, correct? You are, yes. Okay, now, do you remember, Trump Vader, that on May 11th, 2017, you had an interview on NBC with Lester Holt? Do you remember that? You're shrugging. You don't remember it very well, do you? Shall I, you want to hear it? Do you, you don't? You don't want to, you just want to go back and have another gin and tonic? Okay, well listen, we're going to send Trump Vader outside so he can have another gin and tonic, and then we're going to have a listen to what President Trump told Lester Holt less than a month ago. Actually, more than a month ago. So, ladies and gentlemen, Trump Vader. That's quite a small round of applause. I'm not sure you're too happy. You know, you didn't have to go that tiny, just because yesterday I was upset that you gave him a massive, huge standing ovation. Today it was just sort of a polite golf clap. Well, that's fine, whatever. Anyway, let's get back to what Trump Vader just said, that he is now being investigated by a man that told him to fire James Comey, and he was referring to Rod Rosenstein. But let's listen to what Trump Vader told Lester Hunt just over a month ago, I got it right this time, when he was asked, you know, did Rod Rosenstein tell you to fire James Comey?
What I did is I was going to fire Comey. My decision. It was not...
You had made the decision before they came in the room.
I was going to fire Comey.
Okay, let's do that one more time.
I was going to fire Comey.
And then, just to make sure that we all understand completely that Donald Trump fired James Comey, let's play a little bit more of the interview.
Because in your letter you said I accepted their recommendation,
yeah, well,
so you
also,
had already made the decision.
I was going to fire regardless of recommendation.
So there was really
He made a recommendation. He's highly respected, very good guy, very smart guy. The Democrats like him, the Republicans like him. He made a recommendation, but regardless of recommendation, I was going to fire Comey.
Oh, well, there we are. Yep, Donald Trump was going to fire Comey, so the entire tweet that Trump Vader just read was bullshit, in a word. Is bullshit one word, or is it two words? I never know. You know, when I'm writing it, it's not that I write bullshit a lot, but when I write it, I'm sort of like, do I put a space between bull and shit, or is it sort of all just one word? Bullshit. Or is it bullshit? I suppose it depends on the circumstance, or well, yeah, I'm not sure. Bullshit. Bullshit. Sorry. And because it's Friday, I want to end on something positive and happy. And this is a story I have found which is awesome. A police officer has provided a 95-year-old man with an air conditioner. This took place in Fort Worth, Texas, and 95-year-old Julius Hatley was in his home. His air conditioner was broken, both his central air and his window unit, and the temperature was massively high. So Mr. Hartley called 911 in Fort Worth and told them, hey, my air conditioner's broken and it's incredibly hot. Well, the police didn't put this as a top priority, and eventually a few officers did go to the man's house. That was Officer William Margolis and his partner Christopher Weir. When they got to the house, they discovered that it was 85 to 90 degrees in the home, and this was at 8:30 in the morning. So what these two officers did was they went to the Home Depot and they talked to the manager there, and they talked to the employees. Long story short, everybody got together, contributed money, and then Margolis and his partner went back to Mr. Hartley's house and installed the new air conditioner unit for him. And that is just awesome. So, gentlemen, my hat is off to you. And that is the end of the week. That is the end of the show. Follow me on Twitter at SoThisHappen, and if you like what I do, subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you're listening, and have a great weekend, and I will chat with you on Monday.
There are next door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
over to China.